So what makes you happy? And how can you be happier? And should you even want that? Stossel's been looking into this, and he is here now. John Stossel, host of Stossel on the Fox Business Network. This is fascinating to me.
And yes, you should want that. What's life about?
Well, you say you're unhappy, and it's served you very well.
Well, it's served me okay. I think it's made me work harder. I've had brain tests where they compare people, how much propensity you have, and I score kind of low.
Do you think of yourself as an unhappy person?
As a worrier, and I think it made me work harder. Maybe it got me my TV show, but I envy the really happy people.
Mm-hmm. Do you have moments of joy?
Yes.
Okay. Is this one of them?
Yes, clearly. I mean, they ask people in 100 ways. This is one way they do it, where they ask them, rate yourself according to these faces as to how happy you are.
So 0% say they're really unhappy.
Right. This is in America. And I'm just amazed, whoops, it's left to right here, how most Americans put themselves in these two groups. Where do you put yourself?
I was looking at this. I'm going to say, maybe 27%. I don't know. I feel happy, but I could relate to what you said about, feeling unhappy to the point where you put pressure on yourself. I think I put a lot of pressure on myself. So that bounces me down to 27.
Was unhappy, he cut off an ear, and then did his masterpiece self-portrait.
Yeah. So. Well, I don't feel unhappy so much as hard on myself. You know what I mean? Do you feel like just hard on myself, like beating myself up? Like I wish I were a better mother, and I wish I were better at my job, and I wish I hadn't done this, and like that kind of thing.
And it probably makes you better at your job. On the other hand, people are really misinformed about what would make you happier. People think it's money or more leisure,
right.
And the data show religious people are the happiest. People who give to others are the happiest. People who have a bunch of close friends, a good family, and also people who feel they're working towards some goal. In your case, raising kids can be part of that. That does it much more than money or leisure.
Well, it's interesting because if you look at people who are very successful professionally, the odds are that they don't have a ton of time to build their social relationships, and so there could be a direct, correlation there. You're succeeding at work, but where are your friends? Where's your time for, your outings with your buddies?
Good point, though I've asked TV hosts about this, and so many of them just put themselves in this category.
Is that the money?
Well, the money actually works if you're really poor. And if you get more money, that makes you happier, because if you're worried about your family, you're not happy. But after, say, 60,000 or so in America, very little evidence that it makes you happier to get more than that. And lottery winners a year later are no happier than they were.
Do you think we have a set point of happiness in our lives? So if it's a scale of 1 to 10, and 10 is that super smiley face, and 0 or 1 is that, completely frown. Do you think you have a set point no matter what happens in your life?
Yes, and that's what that biological study of me showed. But also these experts say you can improve it. And even, silly things like this. It sort of makes you smile. It puts you in a smile.
This is going to make me a happier person?
It actually has a carryover effect. If you dwell on the good stuff, if you think of good things, you can become happier.
I read online that if you just use your iPod and swirl the little dial around clockwise for a while, it's going to make you happier. Is this nonsense?
Sounds like nonsense.
Okay. Well, what is going to make me happy? Because I also read that if we exercise and we get enough sleep and do small acts of kindness frequently as opposed to one big act of kindness, like little daily things, that you'll be a happier person.
Well, I don't know about the first two, but small acts of kindness, definitely. Giving money to people, money to charity, or working one-on-one with people, it actually changes the brain chemistry, releases the endorphins, I forget what they're called.
Endorphins, yeah. And then Oprah had her list of, making a list of things you're grateful for. Do you do that?
No, but we should, because that makes you stay with the good thoughts.
It's hard, I think for me, I'm a working mother, so it's like all your social time you devote to your job or to your children or your spouse, and then there's very little time left over for a lot of this other stuff. Maybe I could bounce up into the next smiley face if I worked less.
Maybe you should.
Uh-oh. Oh my God, I feel like I'm talking my way out of my job right now. Never mind, Roger. Forget this.
These are good problems to have. Jefferson put in pursuit of happiness in the Declaration. Before that, most people didn't want happiness. Who has time for happiness?
Right.
We're just trying to survive.
Right.
So,
We've set that as the goal, and there is a question about whether that should be the goal for Americans right now. Is it all about how happy you are, or is it about just being a good person every day?
well, what do you want for your kids? You want your kids to be happy. I think it's a good goal.
Both in a perfect world. There's Stossel every Thursday night, 10 p.m. We'll be right back.